What's going on, climbers? My name is James Fairfield and I am going to do a little rigging short video. It's very basic, just one detail of a broader scheme of a rigging scenario. And for this one, seeing how the conversation's been coming up lately about high lines, track lines, things of that nature, which see a great deal of force, I wanted to go over just one small aspect of it, but in my training and in my experience and doing practical skills and practical work, whether it had been out in the industrial world, highly done in rescue world, and especially practice in rescue world, and is now starting to become a big factor in the tree world, especially with the SRT and guys getting used to working with static lines and now trying to move large objects or heavy objects, sometimes even light objects, just across a wide span. They're starting to use high lines and track lines. So for this one, which will be one part of a video of a few videos, I'm going to concentrate on the anchor, or just more or less the screamer side. What I mean by that, when I was taught it, it was the high line or a track line had two sides to it. It had a smart and it had a dumb side. The smart side had all the rigging. The dumb side was mainly just an anchor point. Didn't have much rigging at all, just a few things, and that was it. So on both sides can be put this, or if you want to be a little bit more lazy with it, it could be one side. So we all know what these are. Prusik cords, okay? Cordage, whatever you want to call it. On the track lines and high lines, I find that these are great as what's called a soft interface. I brought this up on one forum before when a person asked. I find these to be highly important. When you're going to use it, I use it in a tandem Prusik setup. So basically, if this green line was my track line, I have two Prusik cords. They're both 6 fingers, and one's shorter than the other. Now what that does is that allows you to put them in succession of each other. So they'd be going out like that. Now when you tighten down the track line, or the high line, whatever you're going to call it, you're going to constantly move these as the line tightens. And then once it sets, what you get is them pulling on the line. They'll bite down on the line. Now what's nice about that is that instead of just, going ahead and tightening the track line down and holding it with a mechanical device or holding it with a mechanical advantage, and the other side of it's just dead-ended, tied around a tree with whatever you want to do, it bites in 2 different spots of the line, creating a little bit larger of a span of grip. It does slip, which is nice, and that's the practical part about this that adds in your safety factor. It will slip consistently at a certain given number or pound force, depending on the size cord, depending on the size rope, and then depending on the conditions, obviously, if you got slick line or something like slick line due to weather, something of that nature. So as a safety factor, these are great. When they slip, you know that you have a certain amount of force and that you need to back off of what you're doing, or you just need to take the line and you need to slack it out somehow. So in other words, if you're too taut, the line is, getting more like in the 120 area, so each side has 100 pounds of force on it, on the anchors, or you're trying to extend it past that, you need to back down, let it down. Remember that your track lines only need to be up as high as the object you're trying to clear. So if that object's only 5 foot off the ground, you only need to be 6 foot off the ground. You don't need to be as high as you possibly can for the dramatic feel. It's cool, yes, but it's not practical either. You're stressing your system. You don't need to do that. So, tandem Prusiks on a track line or a high line, as a screamer, as a safety, and as a grip. They work. They're great. I'd get used to them. Introduce yourself to them. Become familiar. In tree work, it's going to be very, very helpful for you. And once you figure that out, you can move on to the next steps. This is just one part of it. I hope it introduces you to it, and I hope that you get to learn it. Try it out, see how it feels, see how you like it. Try different cords, and remember, one cord longer than the other one. The longer one goes in front, towards where the object's going or the load's going, shorter one behind it. This way one can grab when one slips and vice versa. Alright guys, that was a little tech tip short that you could say. Hope it helps you out. Hope you learned something from it. Have a good one. Be safe. Climb safe. See you guys.